Hello, this is Elizabeth and Ailton Brewington, and Ailton will join us in a few minutes. And I'm so delighted to have at the BW Studios for our digital video storytelling series two amazing authors. And I have with me Emma Churchman, who is the author of Deep End of Hope in wake of Hurricane Helene. As everyone in North Carolina knows, that this is a very sad day for North Carolina, and we want to hear more about how you can be healed and have some kind of comfort. Elton and I have been through four hurricanes. We've lost two homes, and so we are very well aware of how devastating this experience can be. But in all, there is a God, and you can pull through. And look at us, we've come through, so you can too. And I think her book is going to offer you some great comfort and great advice. I also have in my studio Chris Schaefer, who was formerly a school principal, and he actually has an amazing book called Finding Phage. And I'm sure all of you are curious about what phage is, and I will let him tell you about it as well. But is one of these pioneers who took it upon himself to try and search for a cure when there was none, and not just listen to people telling him what he should be doing. And then he was able to find a cure in a very difficult environment. So first of all, I want to thank you, Chris, for writing this book, and also for your journey and to share it with us. So thank you both for giving us your time. And I would like to start with Emma Churchman. So Emma, tell us about your book, The Deep Ending of Hope in Wake of Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm delighted to be here with you, Elizabeth. Thank you for having me. So I was inspired to write the book kind of by accident. We live here in Western North Carolina, which is 300 miles from the coast, and we live on top of a mountain, surrounded by other mountains. And on September 27th, when Hurricane Helene hit, it was devastating for our area. We had so many neighbors who lost their homes. All of our roads were destroyed. They were impossible to pass. So imagine waking up one morning and there's really heavy rain. And then you realize, as the rain is pounding down, that your power is out and your cell phone doesn't work and there's no internet coverage. And when the rain finally subsides, you go outside to see that you can't even get past your driveway. There's no way to navigate out of your area because all of the roads have trees down on them or mudslides, bridges are washed out. That was the reality that we were living in here in my very small community of 300 people. It was 3 miles to get to the nearest fire station, and we had to bushwhack through the forest in order to get there. We were able to get down there on day 4. And at that time, our community started to come together. We hadn't seen anyone from the outside come to help us. We were completely on our own. My husband and I both volunteered our services. He focused on communications and supply coordination. And with my background as a trauma chaplain, I volunteered working with the fire department to assist community members who were traumatized because they had lost their homes or something terrible had happened to them. And so this story, The Deep End of Hope in the Wake of Hurricane Helene, is my journey over the first 40 days following the hurricane landing here in North Carolina. And it's my own story of trauma recovery and resilience, as well as supporting people in my community through their own trauma.
Wow. That is, first of all, to go through it and then to have the strength to give other people advice. That's very big of you, because I know it can draw all kinds of emotions. Now, being on the top of a mountain, how in the world did the hurricane reach your home? That seems
Right.
impossible.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. We had mudslides coming down the side of the mountain and pushing against houses,
Wow.
and boulders as large as cars tumbling down the mountain.
Oh my goodness me, that's very devastating. Um, you have a
Yes.
hold on.
Greetings. Good evening. I'm just want to comment, and I commend you on the courage and you're here. I mean, I mean, many people, of course, did not survive, but just the fact that you have been able to make a difference and also continue to make a difference. And ironically, it's so interesting that tomorrow, newly elected President Trump will show up, and that should be interesting, and I'm hopeful that he's able to add and supply some needs for you and your community that could be the difference, because I do understand that there have been some tremendous challenges. And also, before you go, if there's a planned action for people that could help you and what you see as some solutions that seem to be nagging and you can't find a way through them, if you let us know and leave it on the chat, we'd appreciate it. And maybe we'd love to reach back to you and to add value that way.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
that was just my comments.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful. We're praying for you, and I'm hopeful for you. And I know tomorrow's going to be better. Each day gets better and better.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, Asheville has been very, very supportive of our channel. We've had a lot of great, business entre coffee makers, sauce makers. We've had tea from Rwanda. We've had great joy with them, and they've all suffered tremendously from Hurricane Helene. And I would love to send them a link to your book if they'd like to buy it and give them some maybe a tip sheet or some advice, because it's heartbreaking when you set up a business or a home and it's destroyed. It's really heartbreaking. And that was in September, and people are still out of home, and this is January. So yes, it's very sad. So what tips and advice would you give someone who's going through Hurricane Helene at this?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, two things I'd like to add. One is that one of the things that I lift up in my book is what I refer to as the four stages of trauma recovery: rescue, recovery, reconstruction, and evolution, and how to attend to yourself in each of those stages. So, of course, just as an example, rescue being the first stage, you're in shock, you're in disbelief. You cannot comprehend that your home is gone. You're looking for how to get food and how to get shelter and how to attend to someone or take care of yourself when you're in that stage. And then the stages evolve. So there are lots of practical tips in the book that are helpful for people to think about, not only here in the Southeast and in North Carolina, but in LA with the wildfires.
A wildfire,
Yeah,
yes.
these natural disasters are speeding up, and we need to learn how to process trauma as we're going through them. And that's really what the book speaks to. The second thing is that, yes, there have been about $60 billion in damages assessed here in North Carolina in the wake of the hurricane. The book is also a fundraiser for Mennonite Disaster Service. So a portion of the proceeds will go to the Mennonite nonprofit organization to support specifically long-term recovery efforts in our area.
Wow. And before you go, I'd like to just invite you back. We have a ministry on Sundays called Generation Ministries Worldwide, and we would love for you to come in, as since you're a chaplain, and we'll give ourselves some time, and I will try to bring some of the fire victims and some of my Hurricane Helene victims, if they are available, to hear you firsthand, and maybe we could do like a book signing, or invite them to buy the book. But I'd like to have it in a circle of people that would really see some great comfort from your book and wisdom. So I'd like to come back and schedule that for Generation. It's usually on a Sunday at 5 p.m. So take a look at your calendar, and we'll pick a date, and then we'll invite people, and if they show up, or they can listen to the video, and hopefully that'll bring them some comfort. But you've
Wonderful.
definitely given me comfort, and your book is just amazing. So thank you for sharing it with us, and we will definitely put it on our book reading list and encourage people to get it, and even to gift it to someone in need. So you're watching Discover Brightside. Make sure you go to the Brightside, Discover Brightside shop to see the links, and we'll also provide you the links with the YouTube video. And thank you so much for patronizing this channel. And you can do that by writing us a comment, by subscribing and enjoying our videos. Thank you so much. This is part of the digital video storytelling series. So tell us your story, Emma, as a Quaker and a chaplain and a book author. This has been an incredible journey for you as well.
It has been, yes. So I went to seminary many years ago and became a Quaker minister, and then ended up working as a trauma chaplain because I felt very led to help people through traumatic situations. So I worked in a level 1 trauma center as well as another hospital here in North Carolina, just helping people navigate the unexpected. And I've also applied that. I run my own business, as I'm sure many of the people that you speak to here do as well. And I work as a spiritual mentor. So I work mainly with business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders to help them navigate how they are showing up and how they are attending to themselves as they are in these roles of business leadership.
Wow, that's incredible. So we definitely want you back. You fit right in with us. And Elton has a question.
Yeah. I didn't complete my hours, but I attended Howard University, Divinity School, and part of the community around any church or community ministry group is small business. And the focus on small business and how can you help cultivate small business so that they can help restore the community and help restore the visitors and the citizens of that community. So, I mean, because just being able to go someplace other than your destroyed home just to get a cup of coffee, you know, where you can sense a feeling of I'm on my way, of restoration. And I'm sure you're probably looking, even the corner stores are trying to revitalize and looking for supplies and also looking for the facility that they can serve the community. Because this was one of the most devastating storms that hit North Carolina. And I'm sure, you know, I mean, we are residents of North Carolina ourselves. We live closer to the coast.
We had Hurricane Matthew.
Yeah, we had Hurricane Matthew. And
still haven't recovered.
Yeah, we still haven't recovered from that, but we're abiding, and God is good, and we still keep getting better, and it will improve. And I just want to offer a word of encouragement for you. There's always hope. Hope, and I think of a line in the movie. You know, it was a Bond movie, and they mentioned, well, hope is not a strategy. Well, that it is. Yes, it is. Hope is a
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and if you lean on hope vitally and supportively enough, yeah, hope can be so important. It could be the revitalization of a whole community of people, and they can thrive based on that. And it's a good idea that when you can add value with a sense of hope to people that you meet and see, and a word of encouragement, so people. I mean, because I mean, and I'm listening to the stories of the people in California where people have lost everything, and now how do you rebuild it all? How do you get to, and I can only imagine, you should write a book, I say. You've written a book, but then having to taking 4 days to get to the facility. What was it, the Ranger's house that you took 4 days to get
The fire station.
Every day you get closer and closer. I'm sure you knew your way around the community, but man, trying to go through the woods and oh my goodness, the courage that it took to do that, you and your husband. So I think you have the tenacity and you have the sense of hope, and so being able to share it with other people, and so you know, and tell the story. And this may be something of a legacy for you from years to come. For years to come, and who knows, 10 years from now, you may be able to look back on all this whole time here now and smile with a sense of greater purpose. And I
Yeah.
pray God, I pray that for you from God, that you sense and you're able to, as you keep growing and going, that you can look back on this time as if the victory's ahead. The victory's ahead. Just continue to strive. The
Yeah.
victory's ahead. So
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Now, are you back in your home? Is that your home?
Yes.
So
Yes, I'm in my home office right now.
that's
Yeah, let me just comment on what was just shared because it's so important. And we saw this, and certainly you all living through hurricanes yourselves, you've seen this. People have to make a decision about how they are going to show up for themselves and others in the wake of a devastating event, a natural disaster, or, a death, a divorce, a child who's sick. You have to decide who you're going to be in that moment, even if you've never been that person before. Even if you've never chosen resilience before, you have the choice in each moment to become a different version of yourself. And that's really what one of the messages that I hope people get from this book, that all of us have the opportunity to choose resilience and to choose courage and to choose to fortify ourselves and others.
That's true. You really make a choice because it's a choice, and 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 it is a pathway that you get closer to God and to yourself because you learn so much when you are in a loss situation versus when you're in an abundant situation. So thank you again, and we'll have you back. And you're watching Discover Bright Side, and make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and watch our video. And my next guest coming up, who I introduced you to before, is Christopher Schaefer. So, Christopher, I'm going to stop recording so you get your own video.